Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and Kim is in her element right now.
Like in my glory here. We get to talk about theater.
Theater.
And I am so excited to introduce to everyone, we have the writer and the director of The Mystery of the Silver Chalice, which is having its world premiere at 710 Main Theater, which is part of the Shays Complex. And so here we have Taylor Doherty and Kim Cote from The Mystery of the Silver Chalice. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
How exciting that you're part of Buffalo's thriving theater community.
We are very excited to be at 710 Main, that is for sure.
Oh, it's a great location.
The 710 was the Studio Arena Theater. And here's a trivia question for you. What was it before it was Studio Arena? What did it start out as? This was one of our bragging rights questions.
I remember when it was Swiss Chalet.
No.
Right?
Okay,
Swiss
tell
Chalet?
us.
Palace Burlesque.
That's right, because you know
Palace
Buffalo was the birthplace of burlesque. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, true story, true story.
Proud heritage, your venue.
It is proud heritage. But back to The Mystery of the Silver Chalice. This is like really new, innovative theater, and you know, playwright, director. Tell us what's so different about this, and where did this crazy concept come from?
I would love to tell you about
All right.
it. So, if you can remember back to the days when you were a little kid and you read those books where you got to choose what happens next.
Did you read books when you were a kid, Phil?
All the time.
Did they have books back then?
Well, they were on parchment.
I'm sorry, Taylor.
Parchment.
See what I have to deal with, what I have to put up with day in and day out. I mean,
So back to you, Taylor.
Okay, so those stories where you got to choose what happens next, we decided to do that in theater form.
Choose your own ending theater.
Yep. So it is Build Your Own Adventure, The Mystery of the Silver Chalice, and everybody in the audience gets to borrow one of these wonderful things right here, a little remote. And at different points in the show, things come up on the screen and you get to choose what happens next on this crazy date that this guy goes on, this horrible sort of schlubby guy, right? Just can't find love. He has a choice on this magical night between 3 girls, and the audience has to choose which girl to go out with. And
so Kim is one of those girls.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Well, Kim, of course he's going to choose you. I mean, come on.
I can only help.
So that's kind of a wild ride, Taylor.
It is. It's an amazing ride, and you get to choose everything between what he wears on the date and what he says on the date and what local theater they go to next. And we have a little fun with some local theaters.
so you take a majority opinion when you with people?
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a big poll.
So you really have to shuffle when it comes to doing.
Absolutely.
Yes,
What
you
comes
do.
next?
Adjustments,
And
yes.
this is live theater.
Exactly.
So it's not like your actor can say everybody on stage freeze while I get new direction, right?
Just like here.
Right, like here. That's not like here. How do you communicate? How does the majority vote from the audience end up, you know, translating on stage? Because there's some level of communication there with the actors, and it's live theater.
Yeah.
And I mean, you build a paper airplane and you sail it onto the stage.
Thankfully, I have brilliant performers in this show, and they see the vote come in, and they just all go, okay, this is next, right?
Wow.
And we have done every single routine. There are 11 possible endings, but there are 250,000 possible combinations of things.
Really?
Really.
Is that like that's truly?
That's true.
Yeah.
I work
Say
at
that again.
over 250,000. It's 256,000
Possible combinations
of things.
depending on the vote of the audience.
Yeah.
So the audience, that's power. That's right. That's right. The audience has power. That's amazing. So the amount of time that your actors had to put into, how long did it take to rehearse this? And who are these crazy actors who said, yes, I'll do it?
I know, right?
I know, right?
Seriously, Kim. So Kim, you're from LA, right?
Yes.
And you've been in some wonderful, wonderful things out in LA. Tell us, you've been in Glee. What else?
Yeah, I was a background actor on a few well-known television shows, Glee, Parenthood.
Just lots of things we'd recognize.
Yeah, lots of shows you recognize. But I've done regional theater throughout the Mountain West, which is where I was before LA.
So you're a seasoned actor.
I'm a seasoned actress. Yes. But this has been a really great experience, like nothing else I've ever done before. putting the power in the audience's hands to be able to choose where the show goes next. There's 8 different points throughout the show where the audience gets to choose what happens next. And we have 3 possible dates that the protagonist can go on. And I'm one of those girls. And so we had to rehearse for each choice. We had to rehearse every option in that choice with each girl. Because you never know who's going to go on the date
and then how that date will go.
What the audience is going to choose from those 3 or 4 choices.
Are your actors ad-libbing? Is this, or were your actors, you know, they're really put to it and they had to memorize the scene with this actress, then memorize the scene with this? I mean, that's like, whoa.
Yeah, and there is a little bit of ad-libbing in there, right? And I've written it somewhat loosely in places so they can find the right tone in case the date is going really well or not going so well.
Depending on the audience.
Exactly.
So the audience will tell the actor if the date's gonna work out.
By their choices, right?
I mean,
so
whoa.
you might have a really good ending to the date, a really good ending to the date.
Ooh.
If you're nice.
Taylor, what's a good ending?
Or it might end so badly, and I mean really, really badly. And I think that's the funniest person. I think it's the funniest ending.
Sure.
So if it's a really stormy night outside and the audience is in a bad mood.
Look out.
Yep.
I would not want to be an actor on that stage. No, sir.
Be a tearjerker.
Yep.
So how long did you rehearse this?
We did a beta test production of this at our theater.
Tell us what that means.
A beta test means we sort of said to ourselves, is this actually going to work, right? So we did a staged reading of it with not quite so many choices.
An award-winning staged reading.
That is correct. It won the Buffalo Spree Award for Best in Western New York.
That's really exciting.
Yep.
That's a great way to start.
Now, as a writer, how did you come up with this concept? Because this is really thinking out of the box, right?
It is really, really thinking outside of the box. I loved those books when I was a kid, and I use these in my classroom sometimes. I'm a theater professor by day.
Where?
At Hilbert College.
Excellent.
And I said, there is a way that we could put power in the audience's hands, and they will be so much more engaged with the show, and it's been so much fun to see the audience like fight with each other. No, you have to choose this, you have to choose this. And in the lobby saying, no, we have to do this. When we come back, I know this choice is coming up, we have to do this. It's so much fun. It is such a wild ride.
If this were to go exactly as you would prefer, in other words, a huge success, would other plays be like this? I mean, could this concept work with other productions?
Let's just say there are things in the works. There are things in the works.
Sequel.
Oh, Taylor, the way you say that.
Now that's Hollywood thinking. That's
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. That's such a. I love how you've taken this approach that you really want to engage your audience.
Right.
And what that could mean for the success of a show. Now, I also wonder. I'm a theater person, and here in Buffalo we have reviewers who come to the show and they write the reviews. But this is going to be a different show every single night. And how could you possibly review this show when really the audience that's stepping in on Thursday night cannot expect the same show for the audience stepping in on Friday night? How do you approach that?
That is a fabulous question, and one we've been sort of fighting with ourselves.
Yeah.
I think we are going to beg the reviewers to come
bribery,
twice.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Ask them to come more than once and then maybe compare their review.
Exactly.
I mean, of course they can review actors and if the actors are solid and how comfortable they are on stage and how engaging they are. But you're not placing a single script forward to your audience.
Yeah.
Scary.
Scary.
Brave. Exciting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, this is just a fabulous thing, and I encourage everyone to check out Mystery of the Silver Chalice. And for tickets, you can go ahead online to shays.org or call 1-800-745-3000.